With some of our favourite restaurants, characters and shows returning to work combined with small reductions in infections and ticket prices, our Orlando vacation prospects are starting to look a tiny bit less tragic. Hi, I'm the Frugal Brit, and today I'm going to provide a brief update on what's been going on in Disney World and Orlando. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit subscribe for future news, reviews and other Orlando vacation content. Alright, so starting with the oldest news, Walt Disney World has cut park hours for all of its Disney World theme parks for September and October. As you can see, the most notable changes affect Epcot, which will be closing 2 hours earlier, as well as Animal Kingdom, which opens an hour later and closes an hour earlier. Given how desolate some of the parks have been at times since reopening, it is kind of understandable that they've made this call, especially with September being Disney's quietest month of the year. However, it is a real shame that guests won't be able to enjoy the parks after sunset. So this week, Disney presented its Disney Magic Flex ticket with theme park admissions as low as $49 per day if you buy a 4-day ticket. This discount follows on from Universal's Buy a Day, Get the Year discount to residents earlier in the month, and kind of shows how Disney and Universal are starting to feel the pressure from the lack of international and interstate travel, especially with no Halloween events on the horizon. We'll have to wait and see whether these promotions bring more guests into the parks. I don't think it would be unrealistic to expect some really unprecedented price drops and incentives if the parks are not able to claw back some of those out-of-state guests. That is, of course, assuming they're not willing to cut a bigger slice for annual pass holders. Some good news within Disney World as several of its most popular live shows could be returning soon after the union representing their performers announced its agreement to allow members to return to the stage. The announcement from the Actors Equity Association followed an announcement from the state of Florida confirming a new public testing site at the Main Gate complex in Kissimmee within Disney World, close to Animal Kingdom. The Equity Union is taking credit for this, but that claim was swiftly dismissed by Disney. Some of the shows affected by the dispute include the Festival of the Lion King, Finding Nemo the Musical, Beauty and the Beast live on stage, and the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. So undoubtedly this will help bring back some of the magic back into the parks. Before we get too excited, it remains to be seen exactly when we'll get to see these shows. It may not be within Disney's short-term plans, and also it is likely we'll see significantly reduced capacities. So there's been some more venues resuming operations within Disney World. After a prolonged period of uncertainty, AMC Disney Springs has confirmed that it will return to operations starting August 20th. And to celebrate the reopening, they'll be offering 15-cent movie tickets. My 6th favourite restaurant in Disney Springs, which is Enzo's Hideaway, is now open for dinner service beginning at 5 p.m. daily, and this also applies for the Edison as well as Maria and Enzo's. This is all great news as demand for dining at Disney Springs has significantly ramped up in recent weeks, to say the least. There's certainly no longer a shortage of guests within this dining district. I'm sure everyone is aware that Florida has had a pretty hard time of late in dealing with the spread of infections despite having overperformed in this area during the beginning of the pandemic. Whilst deaths do seem to be on the rise in the US, there are some encouraging indicators for Florida. The number of daily cases and current hospitalizations have been on a downward curve since the beginning of August. Unfortunately, the new daily deaths has yet to catch up with the decrease in daily cases, but there is a lag of several weeks for when deaths are confirmed, so I feel that it might take quite a bit of time before we start seeing a significant downward curve here, unfortunately. But I think overall, a little bit of optimism is justified. The 3 clear pylons that once stood atop the fountain in Epcot's entrance plaza were removed many years ago. However, Imagineer Zach Ridley recently announced the newly constructed classic Epcot logo pylon located back at the entrance fountain. This may not be able to appease Disney fans that were excited about many of the now cancelled construction projects due to the pandemic, but personally I'm fully on board with restoring some vintage Epcot vibes, and I expect they'll be pretty cool at night with all the lights shining through them. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button to help the channel out if you enjoyed it. Check out some of my other videos such as my full tour and review of Animal Kingdom, and if you're interested in future Orlando vacation content, don't forget to subscribe.